Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya शिवधर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयामुदीरये।
ततो जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके
भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, Text 36. Kvachit kshinadana शय्यासनादि उपभोग विहीनो यावत् अप्रतिलब्ध मनोरथोपघाताधाने वसितमतिस्ततस्ततो वमानाधीनि जनाद् अभिलभते. What word meanings? Kvachit, sometimes. Kshinadanaha, not having sufficient money. Shayya, asana, ashana adi, accommodations for sleeping, sitting or eating. Upabhoga, of material enjoyment. Vihinaha, being bereft. Yavat, as long as. Apratilabdha, not achieved. Manoratha, by his desire. Upagata, obtained. Adane, in seizing by unfair means. Avasita matihi, whose mind is determined. Tataha, because of that. Tataha, from that. Avamana adini, insults and punishment. Janat, from the people in general. Abhilabhate, he gets. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta from Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: sometimes having no money, the conditioned soul does not get sufficient accommodations. Sometimes he does not even have to have a place to sit, nor does he have the other necessities. In other words, he falls into scarcity, and at that time, when he is unable to secure the necessities by fair means, he decides to seize the property of others unfairly. When he cannot get the things he wants, he simply receives insults from others and thus becomes very morose. Purport: it is said that necessity knows no law. When the conditioned soul needs money to acquire life's bare necessities, he adopts any means. He begs, borrows, or steals. Instead of receiving these things, he is insulted and chastised. Unless one is very well organized, one cannot accumulate riches by unfair means. Even if one acquires riches by unfair means, he cannot avoid punishment and insult from the government or the general populace. There are many instances of important peoples embezzling money, getting caught, and being put in prison. One may be able to avoid the punishment of prison, but one cannot avoid punishment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who works through the agency of material nature. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 7:14. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Nature is very cruel. She does not excuse anyone. When people do not care for nature, they commit all kinds of sinful activities and consequently they have to suffer. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् Hare Krishna. Welcome once again for this Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. And thank you very much for giving me once again this opportunity to speak and discuss Bhagavatam and to purify myself. So the context is this. Shukadeva Goswami is telling the purpose of the previous chapter, elaborating in fact the discussion between Jadabharat and Maharaj Rahugana. Jadabharat had given an allegorical story to understand the situation of a conditioned soul in the material existence. And since Kali Yuga Jivas may not be able to understand the whole allegory properly, Parikshit Maharaj is asking for the benefit of Kali Yuga Jivas. Parikshit Maharaj is asking his Guru Maharaj Shukadeva Goswami to elaborate on this purpose. So in this consider the whole chapter is this. So what is the condition of a conditioned soul in the material existence? So in the previous few verses we have seen that this conditioned soul is compared like a monkey. Like how monkey is very much attracted to sex life. So he jumps from one tree to another tree and enjoys sex life. Similarly, a conditioned soul who is entrapped with sex desire also jumps from one body to another body, and enjoys sex life and remains in this sex life or in family life. And being captured by this family life, he cannot come out of these material clutches. So in the translation, Prabhupada writes, family life affords the conditioned soul a festival of not Gaura Purnima Janamastami, festival of momentary sex pleasure. So when he enjoys this festival, what happens? He cannot be able to come out of these material clutches. And later few verses also says, so when he is engaged in this material clutches, he suffers three kinds of miseries: Adhyatmika klesha, Adi Bhautika klesha, and Adi Daivika klesha, and experiences various miseries in this. And while the way experiencing, he wants to counteract these miseries. But since he cannot counteract, so he feels morose. And next, conditioned souls, in the previous verse we have seen, few verses, that conditioned soul sometimes he exchanges money with the people. That people may be relatives, friends also. And since there is exchange of money, which is for sense gratification, these friends or relatives also may become enemies. So this is the condition of a conditioned soul in the material existence till the last verse. So if we see in today's verse, so this is talking about a person, he is also searching for this money, but sometimes this conditioned soul will not have money. So when he does not have money, he suffers for even for basic necessities like food, shelter and all. So for that he begs sometimes. So when he is begging, if he does not get, he borrows. But still he is not satisfied even by borrowing. Then he steals. Beg, borrow or steal. So we have to enjoy. So this is the Charvak Muni's philosophy. Beg, borrow or steal, we have to eat ghee. And this is the same verse which we have discussed in the 13th chapter, verse number 12. So here Shukadeva Goswami gave a little bit more elaboration on this particular verse. So this is Kvachit kvachik shina danastu tasmin shayyasanastana viharahina yachan parad apratilabdha kama parakya drishti labate vamanam. On the forest path of material existence, sometimes a person is without wealth and due to this does not have a proper home, bed or even sitting place, nor proper family enjoyment. He therefore goes to beg money from others. But when his desires are not fulfilled by begging, he wants to borrow or steal the property of others. Thus he is insulted in the society. The principles of beg, borrow or steal are very appropriate in this material world. When one is in want, he begs, borrows or steals. If begging is unsuccessful, he borrows. If he cannot pay, he steals. And when he is caught, he is insulted. So this is the law of material existence. No one can live here very honestly. Therefore, by trickery, cheating, begging, borrowing or stealing, one tries to satisfy his senses. Thus, no one in this material world is living peacefully. So this particular verse says, so one is not having money, he will be suffering various problems. But even if one acquires riches by unfair means, he cannot avoid punishment and insult from the government or the general populace. This is what Prabhupada writing in the purport. There are many instances of important peoples embezzling money, getting caught and being put in prison. So in the present day also we can see many materialists. They engage in some illegal activities, earning so much of money, since they think they have a lot of power. But when they are caught, they are put into prison. Many people are like this. I don't want to put names here. So there was one great politician in Andhra Pradesh. Many people know him. He was also ex-chief minister. Same case, when I was reading this, I'm getting this one in the thought. He has accumulated lot of money. And since he has power also, he thought he will be outside only, no one can catch him. But finally he was caught red-handedly with various proofs, evidences, and he was put into the prison house. And of course, this is a material world, he came out also. But he cannot, so Prabhupada writes, so one can avoid punishment in this material world from the government. But still, he cannot avoid the punishment of the laws of material nature. Daivi hesha gunamai mamamaya duratya. Nature is very cruel. One may escape the punishment of this government, but one cannot escape the punishment of the higher government of Krishna. So why all these sufferings are being troubled, or why a conditioned soul is suffering? What is the root cause for this? So the root cause is Krishna Bhuli Se Jiv Anadi Bahirmukh Atayeve mayatara dheya samsara dukh. The root cause is this, that the living entity forgets the Krishna, forgetting relationship with Krishna, and comes to this material world. And because of this, Maya catches. Maya thare samsara dukh. Maya gives all kinds of miseries, troubles and tribulations. And we already discussed. So, what kind of tribulations? There are basically three kinds of miseries: Adi Daivika, Adi Bautika, and Adi Atmika. So, sufferings caused by one's body and mind, sufferings given by the material nature, and the sufferings given by the other living entities. So, in this way, he suffers in various ways, forgetting Krishna. So, basically, he is not in knowledge. Now, he is completely in ignorance. Then, what is knowledge? Knowledge means that I am part and parcel of Krishna, have to render service to Krishna, and Krishna is my maintainer. I just want to render pure devotional service unto the Lord, and Krishna will maintain me. This is the actual knowledge. If we see the 6 symptoms of surrender, so one of the symptoms is, one of the angas of surrender is Gopatatre Varnanam Tata. That Krishna is my father, Krishna is my maintainer. When one does not know this, when one is not in this knowledge that Krishna maintains me, so he tries to take care of himself. And he does not know that Lord is there, he does not have faith, and he does not believe in the nature, does not believe in the Lord. And because of that, what happens? In the last line of the purport, Prabhupada writes, when people does not care for nature, they commit all kinds of sinful activities, and consequently they have to suffer. And they keep on suffering in this material world. But those people who are in complete knowledge that Krishna is my maintainer, Krishna will maintain me, they're completely peaceful. They'll not be in distressful situation. So there are many examples like this. So if you see one example in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srivas Thakur. So Srivas Thakur is a householder. He has his own family, wife, everything is there. But still he is not doing any work to maintain himself. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, Srivas, you are a householder. You are not doing any work to maintain your family. So what is this? This is not right. Then Srivas Thakur told, Oh Lord, if I'm not exactly, I'm just telling. So whatever remember. So Srivas Thakur told, I'll clap my hand 3 times. Then whatever is needed, it comes for me. If it's not coming, then I'll drown in the Ganga. So basically it's mentioned that he has complete faith on the Lord, that Lord will take care of him. When looking at the faith of Srivas Thakur, Mahaprabhu told, Oh Srivas Thakur, even Lakshmi Devi had to beg, hypothetically, it is not possible, even if Lakshmi Devi had to beg from houses, but you will not get that chance because you are very dear devotee. So that is called faith. That is called actual knowledge. So if you see that verse 5:13-12, which is being elaborated by Shukadeva Goswami. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes, Therefore, by trickery, cheating, begging, borrowing or stealing, one tries to satisfy senses. Thus, no one in this material world is living peacefully. So because no one is living honestly, so obviously he has to suffer. But even if one is living honestly and acquiring lot of wealth, lot of opulences, lot of enjoyment in this material world, still a person will not be peaceful. Still he will not be satisfied. So we can see in the descriptions of Chitraketu Maharaj. He's a king, he's emperor, and he has 1 crore wives. Some devotees are calculating this. If he has 1 crore wives, it takes 50,000 years for him, if he takes 1 day at least, to enjoy with one wife. Almost 50,000 years he will take to enjoy. It means every moment he is getting new enjoyment of this material existence. But still he is not satisfied because he didn't have a child. He didn't have a child. So basically this is the nature of the mind. So we may get whatever enjoyment we want, but still mind will tell, this you don't have, you have to get this. This you don't have, you have to get this. We always hanker for that. And even if after getting that particular entity for enjoyment, still a person is not satisfied because that is not in relationship with Krishna. The only satisfaction we can get is only by Krishna consciousness, by rendering devotional service. And there is no other way. If someone is hankering for something apart from Krishna, he'll be all the time distressful. And we can see, and especially in the age of Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam says in the first chapter, the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Prayenalpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayor manda bhagya hyubhadrataha. So these people in the age of Kali, they are very short-lived, manda, lazy. And next, hyubhadrataha, mainly this, disturbed, all the time disturbed. Even though they are doing sinful activities, they have to be disturbed. Even though one is not doing sinful activities, they are dharmic, trying to enjoy through dharmic scriptures, by following the scriptures. But still he will also be disturbed. As we discussed in the case of Chitraketu Maharaj, still he is also disturbed. But what is the point then? So we all are hankering for sense gratification. We all have senses. We want to gratify senses. So whenever the thought of sense gratification comes, we try to enjoy that. So this is like when we get some pain in the body, some disease. So people take painkillers. So what does a painkiller do? For some time it will give relief. But again it starts. Again one more painkiller. For some time it is relief. But again it starts. Yes or no? So similarly, this material sense gratification is something like this. We get the desire. Yes, I want to enjoy. We'll enjoy. And we'll think this is the last time. I'll not do again. We'll enjoy it. But again that urge comes. Again we do it. Again it comes. So basically there is no complete solution for this. By taking the material remedies like painkiller. If he takes the complete medicine, everything will be removed. But he's not thinking like this. So when one takes painkillers again and again, what happens? The disease increases more and more. And a person will die because of that. And that is what we see in the materialist also. People take drugs, sleeping pills. I'm just going through a few case studies. There was one model. She's not getting proper sleep. So she takes pills, it seems, number of times. So one day she took pills. She able to sleep very nicely. So next day also she took. So like this going on. So one day she's taking number of pills, but still is not getting any sleep. So finally she took 25 sleeping pills, this medicines. And finally she was dead because of this. So such a dangerous thing is this sense gratification in this material world. Whenever we try to enjoy senses, it increases the desire for sense gratification, which may lead to even death. But why people are looking for this sense enjoyment? Because they are able to relish something. And that is called rasa, some mellows. They are able to experience something that is there. But this will not give complete satisfaction because this is not everlasting. This is just a temporary thing. And because of this reason, people are not able to enjoy sense gratification completely. If you take any relationship in this world, if you take a householder, he's striving so hard for his family. He knows he's working very hard for his family. He's working very hard. But why is he working? He has got some relief. Some mellow is there. But this is not permanent. So he's also dissatisfied. Even if you take an example of maybe take a bigger community. Philanthropist. He works for his society. But still that is also temporary. Society will go, this person also will go one day. That is also will not give that complete rasa. So he is also will be dissatisfied. Then how to get this complete rasa? How to get this complete enjoyment? So we have to get in touch with Krishna. Because Krishna is known as Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. So he is the reservoir of all the pleasures which we are hankering for. Because Krishna is permanent and he is the reservoir of all pleasures. When we come in touch with Krishna, then we also can experience that actual rasa which cannot end one day. That is the difference. But how to get this rasa? How to get it? So Srila Maitreya Muni was being glorified by Vidura. So the discussion is happening in the third canto. So Vidura is asking various questions to Maitreya Muni about the Lord, incarnations, about the creations, everything. So in that process, he glorifies Maitreya Muni, stating this, how one can get this rasa, mellow, actual mellow. One can get it and will be all the time satisfied. So very beautiful sloka. So 3:7:19, if I'm not wrong. So you can all please kindly repeat after me. Yad sevaya bhagavataha कूटस्थस्य मधुद्विषः रतिरासो भवेत् तीव्रः पादयो व्यसनार्दनः यत् सेवया भगवतः by whom serving, by serving whom, yat sevaya bhagavata कूटस्थस्य मधुद्विषः. Madhudvisha means the enemy of demon Madhu. Ratiraso bhavet tivraha, that rati, attachment, rasaha, what you are discussing about mellows. That rasa, how that rasa is? Ratiraso bhavet tivraha, highly ecstatic. That 5 mellows of devotion service in exchange with the Lord. That one can get how? By rendering service or by surrendering to the pure devotee of the Lord. Padayor, by surrender to the lotus feet or by serving the lotus feet of that Guru. What happens? He can relish this mellows. And what happens by relishing? Vyasanardanaha. So whatever distresses are there in this material world, all those distresses will be finished. So the clue is, the solution is by rendering service to Guru or the spiritual master. By just rendering devotional service to the Guru, what happens? So one will be out of all the distresses already discussed in this particular purport, and he is able to get the highest rasa in devotional service to the Lord. And he can able to easily give up the material rasa here in this world. So that is what in second canto we get. Rasavarcham rasopyasya parandrishtvani vartate. That highest rasa will get by serving the spiritual master. So what spiritual master says for us? Do devotion service attentively and consciously. So when we are doing devotion service, by pleasing with our devotion service, Krishna will give that. In 4th canto, verse number 30, chapter 30, verse number 20, there Prabhupada writes. So always we are thinking about taste, higher taste in the spiritual life. Who will give that taste? That Krishna as in Paramatma in everyone's body, he will give us taste. But who is that qualification? Who has to get? What is the qualification to get that taste? That is, one should be sincere and pure in his thought process. So what is this pure? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavrutam anukulyena krishnanushilalam bhakti ruchyate. So one who is rendering this pure devotional service is not hankering anything for himself. Just want to please Guru and Krishna. When in that mood, when one renders devotional service, then Krishna as Paramatma in everyone's heart, he gives that taste, that rasa. And when one experiences this rasa, then he'll leave this lower rasa and anchors for that. And he wants to enjoy more and more. He leaves this lower rasa. So the thing is, we have to render service to the spiritual master. I'm reading this third canto in the creation. So even in the, I think 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 13th chapter, third canto, chapter 7. So Manu and his wife come into being from Brahma. So once they come, they offer prayers to Brahma. Oh Lord, so you're the progenitor, you're the head of this whole universe. So we are your kids, your children. So what should we do? So what is our duty as a son? So what is our duty? So in this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada very nicely emphasizes. So what is the duty of a son? So in our case, so our father is our spiritual master. and we are his disciples, we are his sons. So, as a disciple, what is our duty? So, what is our duty? So, Prabhupada writes, a father's duty is to bring up the son until he grows. And when the son is grown up, it is his duty to render service unto the father. So, you had an elaborate discussion in Bhakti Vaibhav class. So, what is the duty of a son? He should be all the time rendering service to the father. So, what is the duty of a disciple? He should be all the time in the mood of rendering service to the spiritual master. So, what one should ask a spiritual master? Only this: how can I serve you? That is the only question. How can I serve you? So, basically, we all are stuck in this three modes of material nature. In the purport, Prabhupada quotes this sloka: Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Evaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. The Prabhupada in the second or third para, he writes the another meaning of guna. Guna means one quality, one meaning of guna is quality. Another meaning of guna is rope. Who is stuck with these ropes? So if we are bound by these ropes, how can we come out? There should be some personality who is not bound by the ropes. When he removes the ropes, then we can be liberated from the ropes. So who is that person who helps us to come out of these ropes? He is Guru. He is the spiritual master. Because he is not bound by the three modes or three ropes of material nature. Only he can help. So by rendering service to the spiritual master, Guru, he can help us to come out of these three modes. So similar thing we can see in the whole Bhagavatam also. I just thought few verses to quote. In 7th canto, chapter 15, verse number 25. I frequently read this verse for my inspiration. So this is Rajastamascha Satvena Sattvam Chopashamena Cha Etat Sarvam Gurur Bhaktya Purusho Hi Anjasa Jayet. So one has to come out of this modes of passion and ignorance and be situated in the mode of goodness. And one has to come out of this goodness also. All this can be done by just doing one thing. Automatically. What is that thing? By rendering service to the spiritual master. How? With faith and devotion. Exactly. If one engages in the service of the spiritual master with faith and devotion, all this automatically will be done. So one will be coming out of this three modes of material nature easily by rendering service to the spiritual master with faith and devotion. And we can see there are various examples to discuss upon this. We take the example of our dear Srila Prabhupada. He's always in this mood, how to serve my spiritual master. He got two instructions from his spiritual master. That whenever he gets books, he has to print. Whenever he gets money, he has to print books. And he also got another instruction that he has to preach in the English language to the English speaking people. So he's always thinking about this. How to preach, how can I serve my spiritual master? Yesterday I was sharing my spiritual master lecture. So he was giving class online, Zoom call for all the Utkarsh students, Radhesham Prabhu's all the team. So they came to Mayapur. So since they cannot meet personally, Maharaj, so they are having a class of Maharaj online. So one devotee asked this question. So Maharaj, so how even after 55 years of your coming to ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada left long back, still you are able to go on with your service in this bodily condition also. How is this possible? How is this possible? With so much of astonishment he is asking. Then Maharaj told, he stood for some time and then he told, see, Prabhupada, I am a disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He gave me various instructions, almost 30 instructions he has given. So these are the instructions that saves a disciple or a living entity from this material world. So I am trying to serve my spiritual master. So we cannot repay in any way the spiritual master. We cannot repay in any way. But trying my best. I am trying my best to follow my spiritual master's instructions and to repay him. But there is a lot of bliss in rendering service to the spiritual master, in following the instructions of spiritual master, Bhakti A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, I am able to experience that bliss. And because of that bliss, I am able to extend more and more. If you also wants to do this, then you also have to follow this. Follow the spiritual master, follow Prabhupada. Then he's giving a recommendation also. If anyone wants to help me in fulfilling my spiritual master's instruction, you can help me. No worries. So he's also telling clearly. So by rendering the service to the instructions of spiritual master, so one can experience this bliss. And he can go on. And he easily can come out of these three modes of material nature. So one should be all the time in this mood. How can I render service to my Guru? With pure motive. Just service. So for his pleasure, I don't want anything. But still we are here in this material world, not completely purified. So we'll have a lot of contaminations in the mind. So what are the contaminations? Puja, labha, pratishta. So if I'm doing this particular service, I want something back. When that is there, that is not pure. And when service is not pure, Krishna is not pleased, and he will not give this rasa also. So one should have this pure desire. So whatever services we are doing, this Navavidha Bhakti, that should be done just to please Guru and Krishna. While we are chanting also. I am in the mood of service. And if this mood is not there of service, automatically there is a mood of sense gratification. I want to enjoy. And when the mood of enjoyment is there, at that moment we are forgetting Krishna. At that moment we are forgetting Krishna. And when we are forgetting Krishna, we are always thinking about ourselves. So that's why even when we are chanting also, sometimes we think, when the mood of service is not there, automatically thinks, so what service is next? All the planning goes on. All the planning goes on. We can open centers and centers in just 2 hours. And another thing what happens is, think about those devotees who has maybe some conflict happened in between while being in the association of devotees. Well, thinking about that. How can I give revenge to this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Chanting is going on, but mind is somewhere else. Because service attitude is not there. Sense gratification is there. So that is the point. So if one is all the time in the mood of service of Guru and Krishna, then he can experience that real bliss. And when we have that bliss, then we can go and give out. Yes or no? So our whole movement is preaching movement. And we are going out and telling, we can get this bliss, complete bliss only in Krishna consciousness and nowhere else. And we ourselves are not experiencing it. It's a wrong example then. So to give a right example, we have to follow first. I should be able to experience that bliss. And then I can give out. Even then we are not able to speak. People just looking at us, they get inspired. Arey, this devotee is so blissful in doing bhakti. I also want to become devotee like him. So it is an external inspiration. Even though we are not speaking this, by just looking at us, people will take inspiration. This very blissful in devotional service, I also want to render. I also want to render service like him. So this is another kind of preaching, setting an example. So for that one has to get that relishment first, that bliss, rasa. That one can get by rendering service to the spiritual master sincerely without any other ulterior motive. So there's one letter written by Srila Prabhupada to his spiritual master. So he was quoting this letter in a lecture. There's a lecture in appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Prabhupada is giving this lecture in Los Angeles, February 17, 1969. So I just speak as it is. Srila Prabhupada is telling. In 1936, just on the 13th December, I wrote him one letter. Not 13th, I think by the beginning of December 1936. I wrote one letter to Guru Maharaj. I knew he was little kind upon me. So I wrote that, Guru Maharaj, you have got many disciples. I am also one of them. But they are doing direct service to you. Some of them are brahmacharis, some of them sannyasis, but I am a householder. I cannot. Of course, I was giving sometimes some monetary help, but I could not give any direct service. So I asked him that if there is any particular service I can do for you, So that letter was replied in 13th December, dated 13th December from Puri. And he passed away on 31st December, just a fortnight before. So the reply was the same as he wanted me to do this preaching work in 1922. When I first met him, that you try to preach whatever you have learnt from me to the English knowing people in English. That will do good to you and to the people to whom you shall preach. That is my instruction. So he got this. So he's always in the mood. How can I serve my guru? So with this, I would like to end. So we discussed how we all are searching for some happiness in this material world, some or the other, either dharmic or adharmic. If one engages in adharmic, in the purport, we also discussed how we'll be caught by the government and he'll be punished. If he is not caught by the government, he'll be caught by the material modes of nature and he'll be punished. And even if one is dharmic, enjoying very nicely, there are many examples in the Bhagavatam we can see. Even after enjoying for a meal, thousands and thousands of life, dharmical sense gratification still is not satisfied. So basically, we are all searching for some rasa melos. And that we can get only when we're in touch with Krishna. Krishna will give that touch, rasa. And how we'll get that? Directly by rendering devotional service, following the instructions of a spiritual master. When Lord is pleased, He'll give that rasa. And when we get that higher taste rasa, this lower taste will be gone automatically. And that is called actual Krishna consciousness. When we have that Krishna consciousness, we can go and give out. So with this, I would like to conclude today's discussion. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, comments, corrections, we can take.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu, for inspiring us by this Bhagavatam class. 2 points which are very nice for meditation. That Lord is my maintainer. So this is the mood that a devotee should have. And you give the example of Srivas Thakur. And when someone has this mood, they can really advance in devotional service because they're completely dependent on the Lord. And also, one should be always in the mood of serving the spiritual master. This is very difficult for a Buddha Jeev like ourselves. But this is what is going to save us, as you mentioned in the class. The instructions of the Guru will save us. And just by doing this, one will experience bliss. So following the instructions of the spiritual master is very, very important. And this is possible only when we are in service mode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you for nice class, Prabhu. So you told that by surrendering to lotus feet of Guru, we can release the higher taste, and our duty of disciple. So always serving mood to the spiritual master, and we cannot repay our spiritual master, but we need to try our best. Then we can do something, or we can get some bliss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you for the nice class. So as you mentioned that we should always meditate on what Srila Prabhupada has given us, what the spiritual master has given us. And we cannot repay that debt by any means, by doing anything, but we should try our best to execute those instructions. And that is what will save us in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for this wonderful class. So you started with that the conditioned living entities are compared to monkey. They are jumping from one tree to another, in the sense of they are looking for sense gratification from changing one body to another. But but they are not getting satisfied because they are looking for temporary solutions. So when the permanent solution, and one will get satisfaction only in Krishna consciousness. So because Krishna is a killer Rasamit Sindhu, and by serving him we'll get satisfaction and we enjoy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you very much for this nice class. You explained that how a materialist gets entangled when he's after improving his material facilities, and when he's not able to do so, he begs. When no one gives him, he borrows, and then when he's not able to repay, he steals. And in that way, after when he gets caught, he gets insulted. So in this way, he is always in under tribulation, trying to satisfy his senses through this sense gratifications. And I gave example of Chitraketu Maharaj, that how he had thousands of wives, crore wives, and he could enjoy for 50,000 years, but still there wouldn't have he was unsatisfied because he did not have son. There are various examples also given that ultimately there is no satisfaction here in the material world, and true satisfaction is in bhakti only. Hare Krishna.
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
Morning chanting, I want all of you to sit and chant. All of you should be at one place, sit and chant. I am observing the last few days. ठीक है So नींद आता है तो फिर मुझे पानी मार के फिर से बैठो. I'm really worried after hearing many cases. So it's my responsibility to make sure that everyone advances.